What's up, guys? My name is Technotuner, and today I'm bringing to you my SwordSoul Tenyi deck profile. This deck has been with me since COVID times, and it's been a lot of fun to play. No matter what I usually do for tournaments, I'll see myself usually coming back and playing this deck at least once or twice throughout the month, just so I can have some fun with friends and relive the actual fun of this deck. It has a lot of simple combos in which you can follow and be able to really interact with your opponent. This deck can function as going first, however, it does see a lot more success as a blind second deck, being able to focus on breaking your opponent's board. This deck is a lot of fun, and I really encourage people to take a look into trying this deck. However, let's go ahead and hop right into our deck profile today so we can further take a look and see what we're running. Alright, so for the main deck, we're playing three of the mainstays, which is SwordSoul of Moye. This card is our main normal summon of the deck, and we want to see this in our hand, usually when we want to go ahead and start our combo. This card can be utilized to furthermore allow us to draw a card when it's used for a synchro summon, and it is a 1700 beater. The funnier part about this deck is if you reveal about this card is that when you reveal a worm monster, whether it be a Tenyi or another SwordSoul monster, you can create a level 4 token that is a tuner. Until that tuner and this card, well, until that tuner token is gone, you are locked into synchros. However, you can still furthermore use this to go into your Shishao play and use SwordSoul of Moye is a chain block to prevent your opponent from being able to Ash Blossom your search for a SwordSoul monster. Next, I do play 3 SwordSoul Strategist Longwan. This card is really nice and allows you to go into not rank 10, but level 10 plays very easily. By discarding one worm monster, you can special summon this card, or discarding one SwordSoul card, you can special summon this card and a level 4 token. You can use both those cards, go into a level 10 synchro, and when this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can inflict 1200 damage to your opponent, which is very helpful, especially when it comes into time. Next, for recovery, I do play 2 SwordSoul Taya. This card is very nuts because it turns all your graveyard resources into a way to make a token to further synchro play, do further synchro plays, and allow you to continue on with your play. The other effect is, when it's used for a synchro summon, you can foolish a worm from your deck to your graveyard. So you could send an Anhara, a Vishuddha, an Ashina, just to further your plays for the deck. Next, I do play 3 of the non-technical SwordSoul, but Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. This card is a great extender, and if your opponent controls a monster or more monsters than you do, you can special summon it. So if you only have SwordSoul Moye on the board, or a SwordSoul Longwan, or SwordSoul Taya, you can special summon this if their effect was impermed or if they got rid of the token, and use this as the tuner. Now, if you only have this in hand, you can still special summon it if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, tribute it, and then summon a SwordSoul monster from your deck to the field, which can help you out in the long run if you ever get stuck. It also does function as a tuner, which can help you out a lot. Finally, we go into the Tenyi portion of the deck, which is 3 Tenyi Spirit of Saruya. This card is really nuts because it allows you to special summon it if you control another worm monster, or a face-up non-effect monster. You can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a worm synchro monster, you can special summon 1 Tenyi Link monster from your extra deck, but cannot be used as link material. Then lose life points equal to its link rating times 1000. So basically, if you're using this deck, you can use the secondary effect of Saruya to get out the link for big Tenyi monster to allow you to close out a game a lot easier. Up next, I do play 3 Tenyi Spirit of Shuna. This card is really nuts for the deck because it's a free level 7. It can be linked off into your level 1 play, or your link 1 play, and it has the capability of summoning another monster from the deck as long as you control a non-effect monster. It does lock you into worms, however, but that's perfectly fine for this deck, since we do usually break the board and try to go for OTK. Next, I do play 2 Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha. This card is really nice because it allows us to bounce cards on our opponent's board by banishing it from our graveyard. It's also a free special summon if we have a non-effect monster on the board or no monsters. Where I differ from a lot of the other players is where I still stick with the 2 Tenyi Spirit Adhara. This card is insane. It's a level 1 tuner, but not just that, it allows you to banish it from the graveyard to add back one of your banished monsters as long as you control a normal monster or non-effect monster. This card has helped me through so many issues in which I couldn't break a board because I didn't have the resources in hand, but they were banished. So this is a great card for recovery and being able to get those cards from your banish that you want back into your hand. Then I play the 1 Tenyi Spirit Shithana. Shithana is really great because if your Link 1 or a normal monster is blown up, you can then banish it from the graveyard, target one of them, so it'd have to be the Link monster since the token can no longer appear, or cannot appear or be sent to the graveyard. Shithana can then revive your Link 1 and then pop 1 card on your opponent's board. It's very helpful for actually breaking boards and being able to continue your play. Alright, for the actual hand traps of the deck, I do play 3 Ash Blossom. This card is very beneficial because you need to interact with your opponent to prevent them from building such an incredible board that you can't break it. However, I do also run 2 Nibiru the Primal Being. This card will probably be cut for either Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre, or Ghost Bell in the upcoming formats, given that the issue is a lot of them can still play through Nibiru, and if you shotgun a Nibiru at the wrong time, it can still hurt you more than it can hurt your opponent. So, that's all for the monsters that I play in this deck. However, I do play some spells, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with our supplemental one, which is 2 Lightning Storm. This is just our back row and our actual monster removal in case our opponent has a really big board or a lot of back row that we cannot really want to play into. So, we run 2 Lightning Storm just as a way to further break our opponent's board. Next, we have the SwordSoul package, which is 3 SwordSoul Emergence. This is basically our Rota of the deck, allowing us to get any SwordSoul monster from our deck to our hand. Or if we control a Synchro monster, we can get any Worm monster from our deck to our hand, which can very much help us through different combos and breaker lines. I also play 2 SwordSoul Reemergence, or excuse me, SwordSoul Sacred Summit. Sorry. SwordSoul Sacred Summit is very helpful to where this allows you to Monster Reborn a SwordSoul monster or a Worm monster if you control a Synchro monster. It's very helpful for allowing you to get those monsters back onto the board to further continue your plays, to use them as link material, Synchro material, whatever. Then, finally, for the Tenyi cards, I play 2 Vessel of the Dragon Cycle and 1 Heavenly Dragon Cycle, or Circle. Vessel of the Dragon Cycle is a great way to foolish a Worm monster from your deck to your graveyard, so you can get your Tenyis already prepped and ready to go. It's also a great Ash target. The other thing that I will state is that if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can add to your hand 1 Tenyi monster with a different name than the monster you sent to the graveyard, which can help you through further plays. So if you sent a Ashuna, you can get a Vishuddha or an Adhara or a Shinthana, so you can continue up. Heavenly Dragon Circle is really great because it allows you to play around the Imperm, the Effect Veiler, just to get those resources to still continue with their effects, but also being able to give you the option of if somebody uses Ghost Bell or blows up your token in some form, you can chain Heavenly Dragon Cycle to tribute the token and then add a effect monster from your deck to your hand, or you can special summon a non-effect monster since it was a... Excuse me, you can special summon an effect monster that is not specifically a Tenyi or SwordSoul monster. It could be either one, but by attributing the token, it allows you to special summon it. Its effects are just negated, so it gives you an extra material to work with on the board. Finally, for the traps, I play 1 SwordSoul Blackout and 3 Infinite Impermanence. SwordSoul Blackout is basically a Icarus attack for the deck, where it lets you target 1 Worm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them, and if this card is banished, you can special summon 1 SwordSoul token. It's a level 4, 0 attack, 0 defense. The infinite permanence is just a capability of, once again, slowing your opponent's plays and trying to hinder them as much as possible so you can build your board and break your opponent's board. That's all for the main deck that I do have. Now, for the extra deck, this is where it gets a little interesting. I play one Yazi as our level 7 target. It can destroy itself and another card, so you can get a free special summon of a... Sorry, I'm reading. Target one Yangzing monster control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon worm type monster from your deck in defense position. So this can help you get into your other plays. Sorry, I couldn't remember exactly if it was the Yangzing specific or not. The other card that I'm going to state that we do play for the Yangzing package is Boxia. This card is very great because it lets us shuffle back opponent's cards equal to the different attributes that we use for it to summon. So this is where your Tenyi would come in handy greatly, because this allows you to shuffle 2 back on your opponent's board into the deck. If this card is destroyed, you can target one card you control and one level 4 or lower monster in the graveyard. Destroy that target on the field, and if you do, special summon that other monster from the graveyard. Just a great way of getting another card back on the field if you need to. I do play only one Tenyi Spirit of Moldhara. This card is just nuts for the deck because if this card is Synchro Summon and 2 or more worm monsters are in your graveyard and or banish, you can add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. You can use the effect of this once per turn. When a non-effect monster is face up on the field, this card gains the effects. It cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and it can make a second attack during each turn, because it basically turns this into just 3k damage to 6k damage if you're attacking directly. Now, for the actual real spicy card that I like to play, I do like playing Crimson Blader, because this card is a great way of blocking your opponent from summoning level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. So if you're already breaking their board but you know you can't finish them off, Crimson Blader prevents them from really going hard with a higher level monster. It's great when you're going against Fallen of Albaz, etc., just to break their boards. Up next, I do play 2 She-Shout. It's our monster negate, and, well, it's not really a monster negate, it's... Yeah, no, it is a monster negate. I am sorry. Negates effects until the end of the turn by banishing a card in your graveyard. That's a worm or a SwordSoul card. So, this card is very great, but the main component of this card is that it allows us to add a SwordSoul monster or worm monster. No, just one SwordSoul card from your deck to your hand. So you can add any of your searcher spells, your trap, your SwordSoul monsters. It's great. I do play one Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. This card is great for just board clearing and being able to further break your opponent's board, because it lets you go through and banish an opponent's card if they activate a monster effect. It also can make a second attack and gains the attack of the monster that it destroyed. Next, I have one Xiaofeng. This is what I use for lockout of actual monsters, because Boxia plus a level 1 tuner can get you into Xiaofeng, which can lock out for a light attribute, so it prevents Blue Eyes from playing. Or if you want to use Yazi in a level 2, you can actually do that as well, and further block your opponent from summoning Malice. It's pretty great overall, as this card, while Synchro Summon on the field, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of the same attribute as Yangzing monsters used for the summon of this card. While the Synchro Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 tuner from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, when a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon 1 worm from your deck in defense position whose original attribute matches the original attribute of one of those monsters that it destroyed on the field. So it's very great if you're going against like other attributes. And since you're using, like, you can use SwordSoul Tenyi, banish a spell, increase its level by 1. You take that plus the token, which is water. You can lock your opponent out of wind and water monsters. So it's actually pretty nice. I do play these 3 level 10s, which are very beneficial in their own capabilities. Changing is the boss of the deck. I'm not going to just argue with that. That is just the boss of the deck. He gets very big. He gives you the ability to banish cards from your opponent's field and graveyard. He's great. Aggregine is just a way to protect your cards and gives you an interruptible negate, to where if they activate something and you chain this effect, it then banishes the card. It's very helpful. And Longwand is just a way to burn and cause havoc unto itself, because when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish that monster and then burn for 1200. If they activate a spell or trap, you can banish that card and then burn for 1200. That is, each of those are once per turn. The other thing is, if you sync or summon a worm while he's on the board, you get to draw one card. All those are hard once per turns, but they are fun to utilize in this deck. Now, as for the links, I play 2 Monk of the Tenyi and 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. Monk is just a necessary need for the deck because you need your normal monsters and it turns on everything for the Tenyis. Shaman of the Tenyi is just great for recursion and getting stuff out of the graveyard and back onto the board so you can continue your plays. If I were to upgrade this in any way, I would probably cut the Aggregine or the Yazi or the Crimson Blader to fit in the link for big link so you can get more damage onto board. It's a 3k attacker, it creates tokens, and it can allow you to swing out for more damage. But that's all I have for you guys for this deck profile. If you guys did like this video, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I do try to read everybody's comments as they come in, and I appreciate that you guys sat through and watched this video. Until next time, guys, you have a great one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?